Hello, everyone, and incredible greetings. How art thou? How is everyone doing? As you can see, there's a lot of papers on my desk. So, we are going to discuss one of my favorite things to talk about. And it's something that I get asked about oh so often. And that is differences in printers, papers, all sorts of things like that. Okay. To know me is to know that I absolutely love any and everything printers, paper, ink. Like, I am a true enthusiast. And the types of ink and just how they work, the different types of printers, like just noticing those small details. That is something that you know, I geek out over. It's something that, like, for what I do, it's very important for me to um, be aware of the different printers and how, like, they print out, like what I would use for different projects. Because all printers are not created equal. They really are not. There is, like, just as far as like your regular printing, there's really like three types of printers, right? As far as color printers, because there's also the monochromatic. But when it comes to color, you're gonna have your laser or IE toner, your dye-based print, dye ink printers, and your pigment ink printers. This is a discussion that we have had before, so you may have heard me talk about this a time or two. But you're more than welcome to stick around. You might like catch something that you didn't catch me say, like the last time that or last 100 times I've done a video about printers and ink. If you are new here and you haven't gone through our content and you've never heard me talk about printers and ink and all that, then you will be in for a treat. All right. So buckle in. Chopper, hey, how you doing? I want to know who's on, who's watching, who needs this information, who here is a crafter or a creator that relies on printers, and you're trying to figure out like which printer is going to be best for your needs, because there's so many people using all different types of printers. So who here, excuse me, is a crafter or creator who relies a lot on printing and ink and paper and all those good things? All right, let's see. Me, hello, hello. Thank you for joining from coastal Georgia. Incredible greetings. All right, so let's copy and share. Yesterday's class was incredible. Thank you so much, Joy. So glad you enjoyed it. So I am a crafter and you use paper. So, all right. So yeah, we have one there. We have another crafter that says they are a crafter that relies heavily on printing and ink and paper and things of that nature. Okay. Anyone else? Where are the rest of my creators and crafters who do a lot with printing? If you don't do a lot with printing, just regular items, is your printing more so like sublimation, eco solvent, or do you do just regular vinyl cutting, whether it's adhesive or heat transfer vinyl? What is it that you guys do in the creative and craft space, whether it's as a hobby or professionally? How do you find the playback? Check your emails. They were sent out. You actually should probably have about 3 emails because when we updated the file that you downloaded, it sends you an updated file and it has the playback link in it. We also sent out 2 emails because one of them I was typing too fast trying to get it out last night, and there were some grammar errors. Don't judge me. And then I sent out another one. So you literally should have 3 emails from us. Check your spam. Y'all got to get us out of your spam folder. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. I do some printing with crafting. I need to try the tip you mentioned about printing on premium matte on glossy paper. Okay. Probably need to look in my spam. Yes, make sure that you guys are checking your spam folders for that playback because you should have 3 different emails. All right, so we are all shared out. So let me head on over to the table and also get my phone plugged up and then get it set up for, hold on, I gotta move my charger. How are you guys doing this afternoon? If you are watching the playback, still let me know how you're doing. Make sure that you put hashtag playback or replay so that I know you're watching this from the playback. Let me know how your day is going. If okay, why is the color on this all crazy? Are we frozen? Oh, you know why? I'm on the wrong camera. It's that camera that is okay. Please hold. I'm going to actually switch this camera. I think this one was acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Ooh, yeah. This camera was giving me some issues the other day, and it's still giving me issues. Alrighty then. Dang it. Unfortunately, the color on this, because of like just the way that, wait a minute. Now y'all see me here. Hi. Not the camera that I wanted to be on. Because I'm not camera ready. How y'all doing? Um, all right. Crapola. All right, that's gonna suck for showing you guys this because the angle is coming from here versus this way. That's gonna suck. Big time, big time, big time, big time, big time. All right, let's also move some of these. So as you can see from that angle though, there's a lot of paper here. Well, these are actually all sticker sheets. And this is just some of them. I am a paper hoarder, okay? Not ashamed to admit the fact that I am a hoarder of all things paper. I'm a little upset because I guess that does help. I take the lighting up a little bit, but it's at a weird angle now because this camera is not working. I was hoping it would be the same angle as my phone because I'm about to hit live on go live on TikTok as well. Uh-oh. Printers, ink, and paper. All right. From Florida, love Sublimation, DTF, UV, and Diva canvases. So for you, your printing is a little bit different from this because none of this is Sublimation, UV, or DTF. If you are someone that's wondering like what all those different types of printers are, let me put my hair up because it's going to get in my way and get on my nerves. Sublimation would allow you to do things such as this, right? To be able to press directly to a substrate and it actually dyes the fibers. If it is fabric, if it is a hard substrate, it basically dyes the polymer or polyester coating that's on it. So it is all heat applied. It's not kind of like this where it's just print and go. It is heat activated. So in order to see your colors, which you guys really can't. Okay, let me turn everything around. This is going to suck because I have to turn around for y'all, but then TikTok is from this angle. All right, so I mean, they can still somewhat see it. So I just want to have some of the images in frame for you guys. So hopefully you can see like all of that. All right, I know it's a lot on my desk. I'm obsessed with printers and ink and everything like that. But sublimation, heat activated, so you will never see your colors this bright and vibrant from sublimation, like just on the paper. You have to apply heat onto the proper substrate in order to see colors like this. UV is a different type of process. We think about, what UV is and it has to be cured with the UV light. There's flatbed ones and there's also regular ones, and people are now using it more so for UV DTF transfers, which can go on cups and things of that nature. UV can also be used to print directly to things like Coroplast, foam board, especially when it's the flatbed UV printer. Then you have DTF, which is direct to film. So it's a process that's mainly for apparel and garment decorating, and it allows you to do full color prints, and it prints it. It will put white on the back so that you can put it on any color garment, any material. But there are still some restrictions when it comes to that, because doing things that have like fades and stuff, you end up still having that white behind it. So it's not going to give you that same look like you see on like on your computer screen. That's one of the things that drives me nuts. I see people advertising like those, what do they call the bootleg girlfriend, boyfriend, bootleg shirt, something like that. And they have all of these like fades and transparent pixels, and then they're saying they're going to do them with DTF, because DTF you don't have to weed. It's just kind of, it prints, it's cured, you press it to the garment. But when you're looking at it on your screen, and let's say you have all of these elements that have transparent pixels to it, you see the color of whatever it is. So let's say like a black shirt, you kind of see that blue fade, but you then see like, black behind it. Well, when you do DTF, because all ink, all of this ink, all of DTF ink, everything except a laser printer, as far as like the regular colors, it is translucent. So even with DTF, if you were just to print that, it's just like looking through stained glass windows. The white is what makes it opaque, and it's like, not see-through. So when they put that white on it, you're now not getting a blue cloud or whatever, like, well, I can say like white, because even with white, it makes it solid. You don't get that softness to the white, because now there's solid white behind it, and it can look kind of funky. And I know of people where they did a mock-up one way, but then they go and use that DTF, and now their customers are upset and they want a refund. And then they're in the group saying, well, am I wrong? And people don't like it. A lot of people will be like, no, that's on them. What do they expect? Customers don't know. Like, regular consumers don't know about DTF. They're going off of the mock-up that you put out. But that's a story for another day. But that's just like trying to say, like, that's what DTF is. All of this here is done with like regular printers, except for laser. It's a combination of dye-based printers and pigment ink printers, because that's what I have in-house. I just recently got a new dye-based printer, which is a Canon Pixma. I forget the number to it. 3272. I have a Canon TC20, which is a 24-inch pigment ink printer. I have Epson Workforce printers, which are 13-inch wide printers. I do have sublimation ones as well. So most people think of those printers as like for sublimation or EcoSolve and things of that nature. But I like to use mine as a regular standard printer. That's actually how I got started with Epson printers, is using it as just a regular standard printer. Okay. So those are the ones that we're going to kind of discuss. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shakia the Professor. Our company is HS Ink. And I have been teaching other creators and crafters about all these things, whether it's, these are all basically sized for what's, viral right now or trending right now. Although I did kind of go viral. I'm up to 100,000 views on my my reel, where I was just saying that I don't cut mine. I put a bleed on it, and it's been shared so many times. I'm at 100,000 views. I have never had a video. Well, like just like I have like videos that have that, but like it's on YouTube, like a full tutorial. So to have a reel, I was like, oh snap. I mean, it's kind of cool. It doesn't really help your bottom line a whole lot, but it's kind of cool to have a video out there that has been shared so many times and has been viewed over 100K times. So I'm really happy about that one. Got my first like viral moment. But it was because of this. So all of these are technically sized to fit these. Just print them out just for the hell of it. I know some of these for the Paw Patrol, I'm going to put them on to these for my nephew. So I'm going to end up doing, I got to figure out which ones fit, because all of them are not created equal. And I think for this Paw Patrol and this Paw Patrol, I printed out all 4 sizes of our templates. So of course, they're not all going to fit on that size. So some of these are just going to be like wasted prints, but they're not really wasted, because it is to teach and educate you guys. All right. So make sure that you guys are double tapping the screen. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up. Like the video, depending on like which platform you're on, leave us a comment, guys. That really, 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 really helps. If you guys just say hello, if you clicked on the video, you had enough, like, you know, whatever you're doing, you wouldn't distract you, or you're not like driving. If you were able to click on the video, it just takes 2 more seconds to go into the chat area and just type in hi, hello. That's it. All right. That really, really helps our platform. Okay. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see. All right. So over here, do you sell blank templates? Sorry if you've already answered. Just showing. Yes, I do. That's more so what I specialize in, is selling the like blank templates for literally anything, whether it's sublimation, when it comes to chip bags and party favors and stuff like that. When it comes to these, this is how this template was set up, to where you don't get this image. You just get the blank ones and the speckles. And I kind of threw in the loose leaf paper. But yes, we do sell the templates for the covers, where you can really crop any design to it. But you can also learn how, like, you can also design within them. We actually did an amazing class yesterday, kind of going over that. Hello, Barbara. How are you? I just did 2 competition notebooks today and super excited. Awesome. Just notes. Hey, that's my city girl. Period. All right, making sure I didn't miss anyone. So a lot of people that joined. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And that class was definitely fire. The link is the first one in the bio. Hello, hello, hello. I saw the Bumblebee ones. They are amazing. You are very welcome. All right, so let's discuss printers, okay? And all right, this is gonna be kind of weird. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit, but then TikTok can't see me either. So, but it just looks weird to where y'all see my torso, and that's it over here. I'm not full on camera ready, but I'll come in camera. Like all of my gray hairs. Oh, I look like my mom. Jesus, God, I look like my mother. Okay. Anywho, I just felt weird, like y'all looking at like just, you know, torsos are really important. You know, that's how Noah got the gold. You know, pushing that torso forward. But yeah, for this torso was just not giving. All right, so I just feel I'm very, very vulnerable right now because I am so not camera ready, like Jesus. But it's for y'all. Like, this is information that y'all need, okay? So like I was saying, the printers that I have a Canon Pixma, which is a tank printer, but it is dye-based ink. I have a Canon TC20. Well, the Canon Pixma 3272 is a 8.5-inch wide printer, but just like the Epsons, it prints up to 47 inches long. So many people think that the small format printers are only for 8.5 by 11. They are so afraid to get 8.5 by 14, especially when it comes to sublimation and things like our sublimation paper. 8.5 by 14, just as good as the 8.5 by 11. But you can also print up to 47 inches long. So sidebar, if you're doing sublimation, we do sell rolls on the website, and you have to pre-cut the sheets. You can't just load a roll, but you can pre-cut the sheets to whatever size you want, up to 47 inches. And you can use rolls with that printer. With the Canon one, if you had a roll of, let's say, glossy photo paper or whatever, or matte paper, you technically can print. I mean, it's only 8.5 inches long, but you could print technically a long, like, banner. If you are someone who wants to do like larger cutouts than this, right? You can, I see people will, like, they'll print out it on like a bunch of 8.5 by 11s, and then they're taping them together to put them like together, like to cut out for like styrofoam. But if you have even like the draft paper, like the cheapest paper there is, or pre-tape your 8.5 inch by 11 paper together, you can print a longer print, and you don't have to tape each individual sheet after and trying to get them to line up. Like, you can pre-tape up to 47 inches and then do them in sections and just print the, maybe piece together 3 sections or 2 sections or whatever, instead of all of those little pieces. But most people don't realize that all these printers, you can print longer than your standard size paper. So if that is new information to you, go ahead and type new in the chat. If you did not know, actually, no, put the number 47. If knowing that you can print 47 inches long is new to you, put 47 in the chat. Yes, the class is still available. All of my classes, whenever they're out there, unless like they're years old and they go like bye-bye, you can access them. Just go to the website. It's $23.65. It comes with the template and you get the class. So the class is really only $10. I did see. Thank you for commenting on all 3 platforms. May I ask, I'm looking for a 36-inch white printer. It all depends on like what type of ink you're trying to do. I say the same thing about me and my mom. Oh my gosh. I'm like, man, why do I look like her? Okay. A lot of 47. What is the cutout? So this cutout is not any of these, although at this size, it technically, no, it can't be any of these. Well, it could have been. Yeah. It could have been an 8.5 by 14-inch paper, but this was printed with what's called EcoSolvent. I have a Roland BN20. This was from my live class that we just did in Atlanta, and we did cutouts. We are doing this exact same image in our foam board program, so you can still join that also. So you will get, well, actually, no, it's not this image. We're going to do a cutout of this size, but not this image, because can't just send y'all this because y'all trying to use it and we haven't fully protected him yet. All right, that's Zippy, but that's what he is, and he's on foam board. Okay. All right, let's see. So we have a couple 47s over here. Thank you. She said that class was worth the small investment and it included the templates. Thank you for that. All right. So yeah, that's the first thing. All of the printers that I use can print that long. I have an Epson 7720. I also have 7210s, but I have several 7720s. I have some that are for sublimation and some that are for pigment ink, which is your regular ink, your cut like for stickers, notebook covers, centerpieces, gable boxes, party favors. I said centerpieces, cutouts, like covering this is something else that we made in the foam board class. So if you were doing a box, if you're doing the photo cubes, you use regular ink for those things. And I can use my 7720. I also have the TC, the Canon TC20, which is a 24-inch pigment ink printer. It's made like, when it comes to the pigment ink, you can print to like sticker papers. There are some like vinyl stickers, vinyl paper, vinyl sheets, but it's not the true vinyl like what this is on. So this is called printable vinyl, but it cannot be printed on, this is so weird. So I'm trying to show here. It cannot be printed on with a regular pigment ink printer. The ink will just smear. There's a special type of ink, which is EcoSolvent. If the question is going to come up, don't know if it will, but a lot of people have converted printers to EcoSolvent. Converted EcoSolvent printers can only be used for HTV. It cannot be used for this, okay? And then so even though it's a wide format printer, it's for like glossy, same thing like glossy photo paper, like matte paper. If you had like a roll of sticker sheets, you can use that, but it's not meant for actual printable vinyl. Printable sticker sheets and printable vinyl, two different things. They're made up of two different materials, okay? So that's that. With these printers, your dye-based inks, they are amazing, right? I come from a world of doing screen printing, kind of like how it was back in the day, and having to use transparencies. And we prefer to print the transparencies to burn your screens with dye-based ink because they call it blackout ink. If you ever look at dye base, so whether you have an Epson 2803, 2700, 15,000, 8550, 4700, any of those printers, it has what's like, it's dye basing. If you look at the bottle, it looks like I'll just say like the yellow one, it looks like food coloring. So you guys agree? You know that like your yellow looks like food coloring? That is dye-based ink. It's dark. None of the inks look like the color that they are. When you put them in your printer, like you're looking through the window, everything looks dark. The blue, you have to really get up on it, shine a light to know that it's cyan. With the magenta, you have to shine a light to know that it is actually magenta. And then same thing for the yellow. Everything is dark. So we call them like blackout inks, especially when it comes to the black. So it was great for transparencies. Dye-based ink is not water resistant. If you wet dye-based inks, this is what happens. It runs. The ink will run. But if you look at that black one, although the paper is wet, this is just cheapy paper, it didn't run at the bottom. The color is still the same here. So if you look, the color is the same from here to here. I don't know, it's kind of shiny. I'm gonna hold it back, but you can see this looks like light pink compared to that. All right, so you guys really can see it where this looks like light pink compared to that. The yellow is a little bit lighter. The cyan, I guess on yours, on my monitor, doesn't look as light, but the black remains the same because with these printers, the black is a lot of times photo black, which means it is pigment ink. Which also brings me to the 8550 and 8500 when people are converting them for like to sublimation. You do not have to find a company that sells photo black ink. There is no such thing as photo black sublimation ink. It is photo black is not a color. Black is black. Photo black is a type of ink, means that it is pigment ink and different from the dye-based ink, and that will give like black and white prints like a water-resistant kind of feel to it. So when it comes to sublimate, to converting them, like if you go and buy ink from our website, we don't have photo black. You'll get the gray, but you'll get two regular blacks because there is no such thing as a photo black submachine. I know, trust me, y'all are gonna say, but this company, I get what they have on their website, but I am here to tell you, it is regular sublimation ink. Now, it might look different for those companies that have the brown looking sublimation ink. Now, the photo black is going to be darker. Guess who was the first one to have that ink? Because I formulated it. But yeah, there is no such thing as photo black ink. It's pigment and it will not run. Now, I'm going to, okay, these are all the ones from the dye-based printer. Oh, it's over here. I was like, where the heck is my one for my pigment ink printer? This is from the pigment ink printer. These over here are just different papers. I did them. Let me just show this first. So I did these just so that you can see. On my viral video, a lot of people were asking what paper I was using for my covers. And I wasn't trying to like not answer the question, but I did on some, I was like, in that particular video, those particular ones were koala. It's not to say that that's the one that I would use every single time or say that that one is the best. When it comes to glossy, these are four. There should be a fifth one. I have no idea where it's at. No, wait. Is the matte one? No, I think the matte one has 5. This one has 4. This is 4 different glossy papers. Okay. Glossy sticker sheets. 4 different ones. I took pictures of all of these and they will like my creative lounge and my newsletter that I'm going to create. Like there will be, it won't be the names of them just so you can see them up close though. But with all of these, you're not going to notice a big difference. Now, those who were in my class, or even if you get the playback of it, I broke this down, okay? That these are all the same. When it comes to the glossy ones, I can assure you they are just about the same. There is not a lot of major difference in the glossy ones. We went through, I was showing them different labels and stuff on the back. A lot of these don't have any names on them. I sell paper, so I know how this game goes when it comes to white labeling. There's a few factories overseas that make them, and then people go and just put their cover on it like this. They just add their own brand name to it. They pick the paper that they like, that they feel they want to represent their brand, and they put it in a label, a cover sheet on top, or they put it inside of a box or something like that. But for the most part, most of these papers are made from the same company, and they start from the same couple of companies, and you may have a distributor to identify like their papers. They're going to take those rolls from the main manufacturers. They don't have machinery to produce paper, but they will have large format cutting machines and also printers to print on the back. So they may label the back. You'll find there's a couple different companies that have this exact same label. It just says digital label. And quite a few brands have this. There's a pink one, a yellow one, a gray one. So these all the same. So it's not me like just trying to avoid the question or not answer it. You can throw a rock, just put in glossy sticker paper, photo paper, adhesive, on that A to Z app, pick one, any one. For glossy paper, you're going to get the same results. Understood? Glossy, same results. Put in the chat. Glossy, same results. No major difference for glossy. Okay, I see a couple comments coming up. All right. No, you cannot. So great question. Great question. So her question is, can you buy pigment ink for the 15,000? Absolutely not. Can you? Technically, yes. You can put it in there, especially for the Epson printers. Our bottles are keyed for Epson printers, so technically it will fit in there. But they're not interchangeable, guys. That's the reason why I'm doing this, because it's so important to understand that. It's not, yes, there are better properties for pigment ink, but they're not interchangeable. They are different inks. And the printers are made to process those inks different ways. Pigment ink is true to color. The yellow looks yellow. The magenta looks pink. The cyan looks blue. So you cannot take ink that is true to color and a pigment ink and put it inside of a dye-based printer. It will work. It might clog it because it's a slightly thicker one, because it's made with toner powder. The same thing that laser printers are made with. It has toner powder in it. So it is a little bit thicker. It's not just liquid. Like the dye-based ink is just liquid. So that can potentially clog up your print heads a lot faster if you're not maintaining them properly. And then the color is going to be off. It's going to print much darker if you put pigment ink inside of a dye-based printer. So I do not recommend that you do that. Okay. So there's this one. And this is another one. Oh, shoot. Okay, no, this is, and then here is dye-based ink. And then this is pigment ink, because I wrote 7720 on the back. When it comes to the glossy, it's not that much of a difference, but it does have a little bit more, just by that much shine to it on the dye-based one because of the way that ink is. Pigment has that toner powder, so it dulls it just a little bit. Not by very much, but that toner powder sits on this paper differently. It's just like, I don't know if any of you guys, I print out obituaries and stuff like that. I do a lot of stuff with toner printers. And even though you have a glossy paper, it doesn't really a lot of times have this major shine to it. I personally prefer to print obituaries with like regular inkjet printers, because it comes out just a little bit different. It's just that those are water resistant, and we do want the obituaries to be like water resistant. And if they get wet, you don't want it to bleed and stuff. But the colors on them come out so much richer with an inkjet printer. With a toner printer, you don't really feel that you got like a glossy print. You can somewhat tell, but it's not that much of a difference. If you print onto regular paper with a toner printer, because it sits on top of it, they almost look the same. Just a little something you should know. But this is dye based and this is the pigment. I know on camera it might be hard to tell, like to really see a difference. This is something else that though I didn't do it in Atlanta, I do want to eventually incorporate it. I'll probably do it the next live class we do here in Miami. Because we did it with the foam boards and they really got to see them, feel them, and really tell the difference. Prints, unless you are going to do testing like this and just print out a bunch of the same things and not consider it to be a waste, you really won't get a feel of it unless you see it in person. So this is one of the things that we will be adding to some of the in-person classes, is having these prints and having them labeled so you can really see the difference in person. But let me see, I can probably tell by, just, you know what, let's do this one since it's the exact same print. If you look at, so I'm gonna hold it up to each camera. If you look at Marshall's face, one is like a lighter gray and one is a very, like it's a darker gray. So this is dye, this is pigment. So I'm gonna hold it up. I gotta come around like this for you guys to be able to see it. Hold on, I gotta hold it back. So do you see the difference in Marshall's face? I'm talking to TikTok right now. My classes are taught in Silhouette Studio. However, if you have a Cricut, you can still use. So it's not like I'm teaching using the Silhouette machine. I focus mainly on understanding design programs and designing, because the machines, they pretty much, do the same thing. Every once in a while, I do have a Silhouette like cutting machine class. It's called First Cuts. But for the most part, I'm teaching designing. And even if you are a Cricut user, you can take the class and learn to design, and then you can save the file as an SVG to be able to cut with your Cricut. If you're trying to learn how to do the cutouts, consider one of our classes. Oh, Corey, I need to talk to you. Let's see. Glossy, same results. Okay, thank you for writing that. How do you keep the ink from bleeding? We're going to talk about that. All right, so you guys got to see it. Now I'm going to bring it over here to YouTube and Facebook. Now, over here is a little bit different, I think, more so because of my light. It's not like, because this ring light is bright. So they're probably both shining. But if I, let me see if I hold it. Okay, there we go. If I hold it back, you see Marshall's face. The one on this side is lighter than the one on this side. Okay. Thank you guys. Glossy, same results, same results. Thank you for doing this. You are very welcome. Found you, Glossy, same results. All right, we're going to kind of talk about that. All right. Give me a minute, guys. I see all the questions. I'm going to address them. So that's that. Now, where there is a huge, and I do mean huge difference, is in this matte paper. I am more of a matte girl, okay? Because I like pigment ink. Now, here, I forgot to print this one out from the 7720. Dang it. I meant to print it out because I wanted you guys to see it. Okay, these are from, let me mark these. These are from the TC20. Okay. So make sure I have all of them. For that one, only did 2, not 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is TC20. Oh, wait, no, both of that's Wait, then what is this one? Wait a minute. 7720. Oh, that's this print. Okay, I was like, wait a minute now. I'm talking about this one. Okay. I was like, wait a minute now. All right, that one is glossy. I thought I had 5 of this print. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, maybe it was just 4. Okay. TC20, TC20. Okay, we're gonna hold off on those. That's pigment ink. This is dye-based ink, and no, something is missing. Okay, I know I'm not crazy. Now, where did it go? I mean, this will still give you an idea, but something is definitely missing because there's one that's a little bit duller. Or is that one? No, it's this one. Okay. 3 different qualities of matte paper. I'm going to show, I'll start with Facebook and YouTube this time. So I'm going to flip it like this. Okay. If you look at the blue, you can see the difference, right? And this is dye-based ink. This is from the Canon Pixma. You see the difference, especially in the blues. I really wish it would pick up on the characters and how, man, I'm not sure if it's going to kind of translate. Oh, yeah, you can see that really good. Okay, let me push that one forward. You see the characters? So that's a low quality paper, a mid-grade, and then a high quality paper. If you look at Chase, you can really, really, really see it. If you don't know who Chase is the blue one. So low grade, mid-grade, quality matte paper. So on this side, low grade. Hold on, I gotta hold. All right, let me go this way. So hold it back so that you guys can see. Come on now. The difference in the blues, which, hold on. It's a little too much shine. So you can see the difference in the blues, where this is a really rich blue. Now, if you look at the images, look at, kind of focus in on maybe Chase and Rubble, and you should see the difference where this one's kind of dull. This one's not bad in the middle, but look at the color on that last one. Big difference, right? You guys see the difference in those prints? Yes, the last one is very, very bright, vibrant. No, we aren't really a print shop. I do it for locals. We're in Miami Gardens, but we don't ship out. We only print for locally for South Florida area. Okay. Do we see the difference? The one on the left is popping. You see the difference. You see it. Okay. Now, this one, 2 different qualities of paper. This is, now I did not print, which I forgot to, the one that is like this brand with the yellow digital label on the back. I forgot to actually send this one to print on one of the pigment ink printers, but this is the TC20. And I didn't print it from the 7720. I realized after the fact, I should have brought my checklist. But I'm going to show the, so this is equivalent to this one. I knew I was missing one. I'm missing this one from, hold Hold on. I knew I was missing something. Dang it. You know what? Hold on. It might be. I thought maybe it got stuck in between those, but it didn't. It's okay. But this is the same quality as this one. But with these, although they are different, with pigment ink, they look about the same. There's not a big difference, even if it's like a lower quality paper versus a higher quality paper. Yeah, this is this one. It's not that much of a difference. But if you look at the dye versus the pigment, look at the reds. The red is more saturated here. You look at Chase. He's more saturated here than the dye-based ink. Dye-based inks don't work as well on matte. Pigment, so that you see how they're kind of reversed, where your dye-based ink will work great, like just color-wise on glossy. Pigment inks work better on matte. They're not bad on glossy. It's just a little bit, this is why I'm like, I have different printers for different things. So when people ask the question, it's hard for me to answer. And I know y'all like to say Boca gatekeeping, but it's not that I'm gatekeeping. I actually do this for real. I do this in real life. Like, I am a printer enthusiast, and I know that there's not a one size fits all. So you guys can see here, it's just the light over there is going to affect it for you guys, and I'll have to keep turning it off. But if you look at the red here, it's darker. You look at Chase, he's more saturated here than he is here. Okay. These, the TC20 is water resistant. I can put water, which I'm gonna probably sacrifice these two sets. No, I'm not sacrificing this one. That's my favorite one. I'll sacrifice these two. I'm going to put water on them. Oh, I forgot my water. Hold on one second. Hey, Jeremiah, can you please go into the family room and put water in the green, get the green spray bottle, put some water in it and bring it to me, please? Thanks. It's on my desk in the family room. Water? Yeah. All right. So here is something that has a lot of black. Okay. So this is from the Epson 7720. I know because I put the little thing in. This is a glossy. This is from the 7720 on matte paper. This is from the TC20, which is still pigment ink. You didn't put water, or you put water? Dang, you were fast. Okay, go back. Then he put water in that sucker fast. I was like, I didn't think he put water in it that quick. I dried my hands. I want to mess it up. So that's that. These are both pigment ink. Now, this one's going to look a little weird because I'm still working on the right settings for the TC20. That's one of the things that has been frustrating for me with that particular printer, because it doesn't have, like, it doesn't adjust based off of what you select. Like the, who these people are. The Epson has like a premium presentation paper matte, a photo glossy. Like, it's different. And when it comes to like these are all printed on automatic. I'm still figuring out the settings because this came out like overly saturated on this. But here is the pigment ink prints. And you can see those blacks are black. Look at how his face is. These colors are amazing. This is not glossy paper. This is pigment ink paper. I mean, this is matte paper. Now it's two different brands. So you can see that one brand is a little bit more saturated than the other. So paper matters when it comes to matte, not so much for glossy. So you see how this, especially on camera, it looks a little ashy, but that black is popping because it's a better quality paper than this one. You look at the yellows, all right? Now for and then here is the glossy one from the TC20. The 7720, I got tired of running back and forth to the printer. I'm not gonna lie. So I actually no. So here, no, that's not the one. So this is from Dye Base. This one is glossy. No, it is. So I got tired of running back, so I didn't do another paper, but I did 2 glossies from Silhouette Studio because it's a different setting, right? This one was printed with premium matte setting. This one was printed with photo glossy because I get asked questions about that all the time. Is there a difference in the print settings? So here with this one is premium matte, this one is photo glossy. It changed the color. The color is supposed to be more like the premium matte one, but it changed it to almost like this one. It's like darker. So I'm not sure if you guys can see the difference in the yellows from here to here. So settings end up matter. Although this is glossy paper, if you were in my class last night, I told you, I don't use the glossy setting when I'm using my 7720. I print everything on premium matte. And this is why. The glossy one makes the colors too dark for my liking. Some people might love it. If you've never printed them out and printed them side by side, it's not to say that this is a bad print. It's a decent print, but when you print them out side by side, and I know that I want a softer, the yellow's supposed to be softer, it makes a difference. It may not make a difference to a lot of other folk, but it does to me. So I'm just going to keep reiterating this. I'm not gatekeeping. It's just that I have a different passion for printers, ink, and paper. I test. I don't have these papers. I don't like the one that was like this. Would I use it for like a customer and things? Absolutely not. I mean, I could do things like spray clear acrylic on it, make it kind of pop a little bit, or maybe put like laminate over it, even like the holographic one. It'll help it pop a little bit, but it's not one that I would use like to really, really make orders with and things of that nature. Okay. But this one, these are both glossy. Still great results. The difference in this was the print setting, premium matte versus glossy, and it gave it a different color. Here is a matte and a glossy because it's pretty much, I'm not gonna say the same setting, but you have a matte and a glossy. But to me, they come out looking the same from the Dye Base printer. Now, if we look at, let's just take this one and you compare it. This one is shinier. Kind of probably hard to tell on camera, but this is the Dye Base ink one. This is the pigment ink. In person, you can kind of see where it's not like it's dull, but it's where the ink is. It's almost slightly matted out because of the toner powder. So do you see how much that glistens? Okay, look, there we go. Look at the ring light on this one. Look at the ring light on this one. You see the difference? Ring light and then the ring light on that one. I don't know if it's going to pick up for y'all over here because the ring light is in front of it, but we can see, you can see right there. So ring light and okay, look, there's the ring light. But leave it in the same spot. There we go. You see how much more you can see the ring light because it has more shine because of the way that this ink is. So big difference. Now, can we not say that Shakia gatekeeps? It's not gatekeeping, people. I promise you it's not. It's not. I don't have a laser. Well, we had one. It's messed up. But I don't like laser prints for things like this because it's toner. It will come out, even on glossy paper, it will come out more like this one because toner sits on top. Toner is a powder. Dye-based ink is all liquid, so it shows up differently. Toner or pigment ink, well, laser printers or pigment ink have toner, which is a powder. So you end up kind of having that powder feel, especially in darker colors like black. Okay. So is this more information about printers and ink than you thought existed? Or did you guys kind of think that a print is a print, a printer is a printer, paper is paper, ink is ink? Can I make a list of what papers are best for different inks? So I just told you. Although it's not water resistant, glossy papers normally do better with dye-based inks. Matte paper does better with pigment inks. Now, if you're talking about brands, I can if you join the Creative Lounge. So that is where you will, like you see all those different ones there? There's a lot of brands there, and that's only part of the paper that I've tested out. I spend a lot of money on paper. I don't get paid anything from these companies to kind of let you know what's good, what's not. So the only way for me to basically make a profit off of or just get paid for the work that I do. So I'm going to go and I'm going to end up helping companies, or maybe even, some people not go buy from certain companies. But I did all the work. So if you want that exact information to cut the red tape where you don't have to print out 30,000 sheets, join the Creative Lounge. More than you expected. Gonna have to rewatch this. Not revealing any of the brands. So it's more so just so that you understand that there is a difference between printers, even if they are both pigment ink. So let me show you the ones that were pigment. This is the Epson 7720, and this is the this is here we go. This is the Epson 7720 with premium matte. This is the TC20. The colors are what's different. So some people may like this color better because if you look at like what's this stuff called? The honey, it has more, like it seems like it's more saturated. And some people think more saturation means that it's better. No, because something can be oversaturated and it becomes the completely wrong color. So although they are the same, the black is not. Which one is it? I'm looking at it wrong. This one doesn't have the same properties as this one. So this is still a thermal printer. This is a heat-free printer. This has a thermal head. So it goes on kind of differently. So the colors are different from these two. And it looks a little bit like it's more powder, more toner to this one than this one. And they have the same ink in them. Okay. In my TC20, I put our Honestly Speaking pigment ink in there. You do have to keep the bottles because the nozzle is different. But my TC20 does not have the Canon ink in it. It has my Honestly Speaking pigment ink in it. And so does this one. Okay. All right. So now I saw some questions about how to protect them. So I'm going to take this one and nope, not you. Actually, I'll do one of the ones that is over here. I got to move all my other ones because I don't want them to get wet. All right, so this is a TC20. Okay, we can do a TC20 and a dye-based printer. Can you see the ink running down? You see the blue on her face? You see the blue running down her face? You can probably see, hold on. You can see Paw Patrol is starting to run, and you can see the ink coming up off the edges. Hold on, I gotta come around. Whoa, shoot, my laminate. All right, let me see. So you see the color coming off of her face. Now her face is green. Ooh, it looks really bad at the bottom. Y'all see that? But then we look at a pigment ink print. Yes, you're going to have water stains, but the ink does not run. That's the same way if you were to wet a laser print, the ink does not run. I am a pigment ink girl. Most times I am using matte paper. I love matte because I was an event planner. And when it comes to taking pictures, I hated getting the glare on party favors or centerpieces. I cannot stand that glare a lot of times from like certain glossy papers. So I prefer matte because they do better in pictures. Man, I cannot wait to take a still shot of this for y'all to really see how, because I don't know if it's really coming off on camera, how bad this one is because of the light, but it is horrible. Y'all see that? Oh, there we go. But then we look at this one. The color remains the same. Now, once this dries, the color will be the same. Well, like if the paper was kind of a cheap one, you'll be able to see like warped marks on it. But if it's quality paper, you won't even notice that. I live in Miami and parties get rained out. And I've had centerpieces still look good because I use the pigment ink. And they were probably on like foam board or something. But pigment ink is my ink of choice. So you have to be willing to buy a pigment ink printer. No, you cannot take a dye-based printer and put pigment ink in it just so that you can get these results. Well, you can. I'm going to keep saying you can, but then you're going to sacrifice on colors. So if you rather have water resistant, but have pigment ink, you're just going to have to sacrifice on, if you want water resistant with the pigment ink, you're going to have to sacrifice on color, okay? Because it won't be the same because they are two different types of ink. And I didn't bring my bottles. If you've ever seen me do a video about ink, I normally have every type of ink bottle like in my hand showing it, but I didn't do it this time around. All right. But I will do it again. You can either watch the old ones, but when I do my next one in the Creative Lounge, I will show those inks. All right. Now, questions of how can you protect it? If you have dye-based ink and you want to protect it, I think I saw someone say, can you spray it? Technically, not really, unless you are going to do several coats. One coat does not really protect it because when it comes to paper, it'll start to break that down and it'll still run. Ask me how I know. When I had a brother printer, that happened to me. I thought me spraying my clear acrylic on it, doing like even 2 coats, it has to be a really thick coat on it in order for it to not still do this. The only way to really protect it, now if you're doing something like a sticker sheet and you're going to do notebook covers, using laminate, like this one right here is laminated. This is a dye-based print. No, this is a This one's pigment ink. This is a pigment ink print, but it's still covered. Where is the one from last night? That is, I don't see it, but you can cover it with laminate. Oh, it's right there. Okay, hold on. These are just regular prints from the dye-based printer onto the glossy paper. This one, and I just made a post and I said, can you tell which one is dye and which one is pigment ink? So I'm going to show you both sides. So this is the front. Okay, this is the back. Which side do you think is dye? Which side do you think is pigment? This is the front. This is the back. Ooh, this is the front. This is the back. Now, if you were in the class last night, don't you dare answer unless you weren't paying attention. Back or front? Which one is pigment? Which one is pigment ink? Which one? No, I'm sorry. No. I told a fib. These are both dye-based inks. The difference is one is matte paper, one is glossy paper. I'm sorry. These are both dye-based prints because they came from the Canon. But one side is matte paper, the other side is glossy. I'm sorry. That's what we're doing. Which side is the matte paper? Which side is the glossy paper? So this is the front. This is the back. This is the front. This is the back. Do you spray with the sealer? Again, I do not recommend using the sealer. If you want to fully protect a dye-based print, you will need to cover it with laminate. But yes, if you spray a pigment ink print with a clear gloss, with a glossy sealer, all of them are not created equal. I do not recommend the best one is, what is it? Rust-Oleum American Accents, that clear one, best one ever. And I'm only saying that because I have literally said that on live videos before. I literally have like the pictures up in my Facebook group. So American Accents clear, like from Rust-Oleum, that's the best one. But you can spray the pigment ink one and give it a little bit more pop. If you watch my old videos, I used to do that. I have a Canon IX6820 Pixma and an Epson 8550. Are either of those dye-based inks? Every last one of the Canon desktop Pixma printers are dye-based inks. Your 8550 is a dye-based ink. When it comes to Epson printers, every single, I'm going to say it one more time so that I don't want to hear, well, what about da-da-da-da? Every means, because there's going to be an exception though, but every single number, every single model, except the 16600, 16650. If you happen to have the older models, it is a 16500 and a 16550. That's the older models of those EcoTank printers. They are wide format 13-inch wide printers. Those are the only two Epson EcoTank printers that uses pigment ink. Every single Epson EcoTank printer uses dye ink. 16600, 16650. Oh, hold on. I forgot. They're gonna get me, y'all. They're gonna get me. Hold on. I forgot to put on my disclosure. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I got to put it on. I'm surprised they haven't dinged me yet with me talking about these brands and mentioning my own brand. 16600, 16650. They are $1,000. Those are $1,000 printers. Or you have like the old school, which you can't find anymore anyway, but it's like the 16500. So if you have an old one of those and didn't know it was pigment ink, so the 16500, 16550 are the only EcoTank printers that use pigment ink. All the others are dye. You can tell the difference. Just got on. What's the combo? We are discussing ink, paper, and printers. Let's see. Pretty much, well, every HP except like some of the Instant Ink ones that are like Office Jets. Certain Office Jets are pigment ink. You have to look that up. Canon, all of their desktop printers are all dye-based ink. They have pigment ones, but it's like the wider ones, like the ones that I have, the ones that my good sis Javaya from Gifted Hands by Javaya, she has 2 Canon printers, like large format ones, and those use pigment ink. But it's like Canon's larger format ones are pigment, but all of their desktops are dye-based ink. Epson has a pigment ink, but you can't just put pigment ink on just because it's Epson. You can't just put Epson's pigment ink in another Epson printer. It's still going to be the wrong ink and your colors will be affected. My apologies if you already mentioned it, but what high quality paper brand is the Viber one? I'm not mentioning any brands. It is just to educate you about printers. If you would like to know brands, if you joined the class that was associated with this particular template, I did show them all of the brands, or you can join our creative lounge, and that is where I give all of those types of details. You can always just try. So now I'm giving you what you need to know, that they're not all created equal. So you can try out maybe like buying a bunch of different smaller packs of paper from that A to Z app and trying those out for yourself now that you know that there's a difference, and you can figure out which one of those brands is going to work best with your particular printer. But to know the exact brands and my recommendations from top to bottom, you have to join the Creative Lounge. And it is, well, you have to go to, I forgot. It's not, I have to add it to my link tree. So follow me and then come back, because you can only access it directly from the Academy site because it's a subscription-based program. You can't access it from shop.hsinc365. Let's see. So yes, all right. So to reveal it, the front was the matte paper. The back was the glossy paper. It's not very much, like it's not a lot of difference once you add that laminate to it. And this is a holographic one, but even with adding the regular clear laminate, you won't see that much of a difference. So this was, the back side was the glossy side. The front side was the matte paper. All right, let me see what y'all saying over here on Facebook and YouTube. You tried following me, but it won't let you. Are you already following me? I don't know. That's all you use are Epson printers. You have a 16600 that is pigment ink. So you're going to get decent results with glossy paper, but if you use the right matte paper, your prints are going to be chef's kiss. It's going to be like using a laser printer. So pigment ink printers, if you want an EcoTank, would be 16600, 16650. There are some smaller format ones that are pigment ink. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head because I don't be checking for small printers. As far as the large format ones, the old school Workforce 7720, like all of those were the better ones. There is the 7820, 7840, but I don't recommend those printers. So the 7720 is better on glossy or matte. Any pigment ink printer is going to be better on matte, like as you compare it to a dye-based printer. It's great for both, but as you compare it to a dye-based printer, matte paper has a better color from a pigment ink printer than a dye-based printer. Glossy has a better color from dye-based printers instead of pigment ink printers. So 7720 is still great for both. I use it for both, but it's just when you are comparing it. But when you do dye base, you have to do extra steps to protect the print. Okay, let's see. Before you, I thought a print was a print and didn't know there was dye and pigment inks. You see it running. I can see it. Had no idea. The back was glossy. The back was glossy, correct. The front was matte, exactly. You guys are good. How will matte paper look with the laminate? So you saw that. That front was matte. Oh, she said you just answered that. What paper do you recommend for a laser? I'm not giving any recommendations for paper. When it comes to laser printers, though, for the most part, like you can have a really cheap paper. Laser printers is toner. It sits on top. Laser prints or toner prints are opaque. They are not translucent. So any of that, like you can really print it to any paper. Dye base mean inkjet printers. So whether you have a DTF printer, a sublimation printer, a dye-based printer, a pigment ink printer, an eco-solvent printer, UV printer. Well, UV, I think, yeah, even UV, because it will come out stained glass. Any inkjet printer, the ink, cyan, magenta, yellow, and most times black, they are all translucent. You can see through it. So that's why it's different on different papers. Because it's translucent, some papers, it soaks up into it because it's not coated. Now that's a story, that's a whole other thing. Most people don't realize that there is a difference between coated and uncoated paper. So with these, this color was really, really bad. This was a non-coated paper. Whereas with this one, it has a coat on it that's going to take the ink better. That's a story for another day, because then I'll geek out about that. If you've never had color swatches, you have color swatches for fabrics. Then you have color swatches that show you like it's the color charts or color swatches for coated and non-coated paper. It's not all created equal. They will print differently. Colors will be different on coated versus non-coated paper. So that's a big difference. And these are all sticker ones. I have done this before, even with regular cardstock. That pile of paper is huge. I have a lot, and I do mean a lot. And then with regular papers, it's like the coated versus non-coated, but then you have some that are super bright white, you have some that are off-white and almost yellowish, and then you have some that have a blue undertone. I told y'all, I'm serious about printers. I don't think you will ever find a crafter, creator that will break down paper, ink, and printers like me, because I eat, sleep, and breathe printers. All right, let me see. All right, so I am going to put some laminate over one of these matte ones. Okay, this is matte, and only because this already had like a little thingamajiggy over it. Will this fit on this? I'm not going to use this for anything. It's not, well, this is probably be good anyway. See, look at God. Look at God. He's making a way. Look at God. Because if I put this on here where it doesn't cover it, you get to see the difference between the uncovered side and the covered side. Look at God. Look at God. He's making a way. Look at God. Ow. Okay. I didn't even think about that. So let's put this laminate down. Oh, and this will be the last video you ever you see during this season of me showing anything composition notebooks. I'm over them. I'm so sick and tired of talking about I'm appreciative of the viral moment, but when I say I am over composition notebooks and people asking me questions about them. This now the questions are coming about like just basically like ink and paper. I'm looking for my parchment paper. I'm tired of addressing composition notebooks. So this will be the last time I address them. Okay. Some people don't do it this way. I'm very anal about it going on the right way. So I like parchment paper because it keeps it from touching before I am ready. So this is bigger than that. I'm putting it down on my mat to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Sorry, y'all are rocking. The camera is actually attached to the desk. Just so it doesn't stick to everything. All right. I'm going to start over here. Of course, you can tell glossy. And then this is, so if you look at his face, you can see where it got brighter compared to here. So the laminate definitely does help. But if you're doing something like party favors, like chip bags and like Capri Suns, well, it'll make it too heavy, it'll come off. But like if you're doing stuff like for party favors, you can't really protect like that. If you're doing something like gable boxes or things like that's like flat, gift bags, but stuff like wrapped stuff like chips, not Capri Suns, Rice Krispie treats, things like that. It's a little bit harder to use them. If you're doing water bottles, of course, you can put the laminate over it. But yeah. Oh, here's the thing though, too. If you use a waterproof label, like sticker sheet, you don't have, like, it's waterproof. So there is a difference between a standard glossy and a waterproof glossy. Is there a waterproof mat? I think online labels might have a waterproof mat, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. But I know for sure they have a waterproof, and there's other brands too that have a waterproof glossy. You won't have to worry about it running because the paper has a coating on it that makes it waterproof. But with all these other ones, if the back of it gets wet, it's still gonna go through that paper and it will still mess up. If it's like paper, if it's something that's like a vinyl and water won't penetrate it, you're fine. But if it's a sticker paper is not the same as vinyl. It's not the same as making a decal. Vinyl and sticker paper is different. Sticker paper is still paper. Vinyl is vinyl. It's plastic. Water won't go through it. But with a sticker paper, it's still a paper backing. That water can go through it and it can still bleed. This is more so to protect it, like just straight from the front, water hitting it from the front. So some of them, if you have certain brands, like I said, like water bottles, and you submerge it in water, if water is getting behind it, it could still potentially bleed. Also, even just kind of hitting it from the side, the bottom part of it could technically start to bleed like through the back. So you have to be mindful of that. But just like, let's say like your composition notebooks, you can cover them and you will be fine unless you fold it over the ends and, for certain things and seal it in. So let me come over here so you guys can see up close and personal. Oh, shoot. Glossy, you see his face versus, not glossy laminate versus the way that his face looks, and the blue. I mean, you can really tell on that blue too. Like right here, from here to here, it's a big difference. Jeremiah, dogs. I see them walking in front of my window, pacing. Hold on. Did you feed the dogs, Papa? Okay. They all pacing. He said he fed them. They're pacing in front of my window. Thank you for the follow. Thank you guys for the likes. All right. Any other questions for me other than brands? What is the advantage of our ink with the 7840? So we no longer sell cartridges or chips for the 7820, 7840, 7310. If you find them somewhere else, you definitely can use them, right? I mean, it's more so for sublimation. If you're using it as a regular printer, well, I can't even say that. The actual 7840, 7820, like their pigment ink, Epson made it totally different than the pigment ink of its predecessors. It smears. On glossy, it will literally scrape off. On matte, if you rub your hand against it, it will smear and you will end up with, especially that black, you will end up with it on your fingertips. Our ink does not do that, but we no longer sell cartridges and chips for it because they were too hit and miss. And if you have a regular pigment ink printer, like, so there are some people that still get like ink from us, and what they'll do is get the Epson cartridges and harvest the chip. They'll take the chip off. So they have to do that every single time the chip runs out. But if you're using it as a regular printer, I mean, that's why I said I don't recommend it, because it, like, as a regular printer, because the ink itself is just not that great. And it's not really worth it to use a third-party ink but still use the same chips. Sublimation users, I can see that because it's a totally different, like totally different type of ink. There were some where they still would use the Epson Cyan, Magenta, and Yellow, but they would use our black pigment ink, and they just still have to they rather just do it that way and take the chip off for at least just the black so that it doesn't smear and scratch off. I named the pigment ink printers. TC20 or any of the large format Canon ones. I don't have the numbers, but like if you look at Javia's video, Gifted Hands by Javia, she has two Canons. Those are pigment ink, or the TC20, which is Canon's large 24-inch Eco Tank printer. And then for the Epson is ET 16600, 16650. They are $1,000 printers. There isn't really a good desktop type printer that is pigment ink like the Workforce. The 7820, 7840, those are pigment, but I don't recommend those. No, I do not use Gildan sublimation shirts. This is a polyester shirt. I do not use Gildan. Those are the worst shirts ever. My shirts of choice for sublimation is going to be Team 365 or somebody help me out because I've said it 1,000,001 times. Let's see who's paying attention. What's the other brand? Lord Jesus, why am I drawing a blank? Team 365 and okay, it just came to me, but I want to see who pays attention for the other brand of shirt that I use for sublimation. So the ink for the 7840, would it be good for the paper? Yes. Any pigment ink printer is great for printable transfers like Jet Pro 3G. Your prints will last forever. I've shown a couple of them. My niece is now 10. I always show the shirt when she turned 6. It was the Hello Kitty one. Our shirts from when we went to Animal Kingdom, they're on Jet Pro 3G. They're done with pigment ink. They've been washed plenty of times, and the ink has never run. They look exactly the same as they were made 4 years ago. I have an HP Envy. That's a pigment ink. It's small format. So I know the Envy ones are dye-based ink. There's Office Jet ones that are pigment, but the Envy ones are all dye-based ink. Yay, Sports Tech. The other brand I use is Sports Tech. So I only use Team 365 or Sports Tech. I feel the same way about Gildan. I'm looking for good poly shirts. Okay, because after my older model print, they gave, yeah. So that was the replacement. So if you had to do a warranty claim with Epson, they gave you the 7820, 7840. You can use it, but it's not the greatest. Like they changed their ink and it prints way slower than the old school workforces. And sorry, another thing. Oh, for people who complain about pinwheels, every desktop printer will have pinwheels. And I was looking at this and I was like, dang, I will say the Canon one on your glossy prints, oh baby, you see, I mean, they're not only because like maybe because I was looking for them, but now that to me they stand out like a sore thumb because maybe because I was looking for them. But any desktop printer, in order to keep the paper stable, like once this part gets into the open well and it's not connected in the back, they all have pinwheels to them. So it's not just a Epson thing. Every single printer has pinwheels. And on glossy, you don't get like the trails. The ink doesn't stick to it like with sublimation, but you will see the indentions going all the way down your prints, especially on glossy paper. Okay. And with the 7820, 7840, it has 2 rows. So like that front one is a set of pinwheels, and then there's another one behind that. So that's another thing that I don't like about the 7820, 7840, 7310, because it uses the long cartridges. It has an extra row of pinwheels, and it is so freaking annoying. It puts really, really thick indentions in your paper. Oh, yours is pigment. So you've done the test where you've wet it. So yeah, if it's an Office Jet, there are Office Jet ones that are pigment, but the Envy ones, I've never seen the Envy come up as a pigment ink printer. But check it, because if you do have an Envy and it's pigment, let me know. What's a good printer for sublimation besides Sawgrass? Epson printers, that true sublimation printers for Epson. So that would be your F170 or your F570, because you cannot do the conversion. You'll never hear me recommend any EcoTanks for conversion, which is probably why people don't like me, don't like to follow me, don't like to listen to me, because everybody else tells you to get an Epson EcoTank for sublimation. And I'm like, absolutely freaking not. So, I'm never going to be that very, very popular person, because I'm not telling people what they want to hear. I tell people what they need to hear. And you will never, ever, ever hear me recommend an EcoTank printer except 16600, 16650, because they are pigment ink. I have the Epson F170. All right. So I saw somebody put a question about Cricut. Well, they wrote Cricut, but I'm not sure if that was a question for something, because I asked, did anyone have questions for me? And then I saw Cricut pop up. So last call for questions. I've just spent an hour and 38 minutes with you guys. So that should let you know that I don't mind helping and answering questions. I know sometimes some people get on, they say what they want to say. They say they want questions, but before the questions even really come through, they're like, okay, all right, go bye. I'm giving you guys an opportunity to ask me questions other than what brands. Only one I can tell you is, like I've said it in my other video, the Koala. So I'll show you these because I've shown them in videos before. Most of my other stashes of paper, you guys have never seen. Unless you were in certain classes. I remember, I was going to share with you guys this, though, the holographic laminates. I remember at one point, I would never even share the banner paper, because people didn't realize that you can print banners from your workforce print, or really any printer. Because, like I said at the beginning, all printers print 47 inches long. And for the longest time, it took me maybe 3-4 years before I'm like, hey, that's on y'all, because that paper was a lot. Like, for me just to, like, I went through a lot to figure out that paper. I had to cut paper, like cut stuff down. Oh, here's what I'm looking for. So for a long time, I wouldn't reveal it unless you were in my classes for banners. And even then I wouldn't, it was like, it took a while for me to even mention it in the class for banners. But because I have done videos with these and I have mentioned them, some of my other ones you guys have never seen, it's what I use in my private time. but on camera, I have used these. So I have set up these. This is a sticker paper. Okay. It will rip. It will leave a paper residue. This is vinyl, but it is very, very thin. Putting it on stuff like Capri Suns, it's thin. It will wrinkle really, really easy because it's not a thick paper. Because it's so thin, it doesn't go on to like curved surfaces like Capri Suns very well. It's great for what it shows on here, which is small stickers. It's not great for large ones. Even when I put this one on the composition notebook, it was a little testy, got a little sassy with me with getting it to go down smoothly because it's really, really thin. Great for little stickers though. Amazing for stickers. And then this one is sticker paper, but it is this is a vinyl, which is more like a plastic. This is a sticker paper and it's paper. And it will, so I showed you guys this before where if you don't protect it, and with this one, if tape happens to get to it, it's going to come off. You see Bluey's ear? So wait, can y'all see Bluey's ear where it came off? All right. My only issue is printing bigger. Yep. So it's a great printer. You just can't print bigger, but it's a lot of things. I am team small when it comes to sublimation. I don't like the bigger projects. I am definitely team small when it comes to sublimation. And I advocate for doing, and I feel like you can make more money with a lot of the smaller items than you can trying to do the bigger items because you can get more done. Like I can, especially if you have a large format heat press, I can press several items all at one time, where with the bigger ones, you got to do them one by one by one. So I am definitely team small. Just joining. Any suggestion for printers that's good on ink for party favors? All right, so I'll kind of go back over that briefly. 15,000 for sublimation. I don't recommend it, but you can use it. How can I print bigger images? You have to basically tape them together. So that's going to depend on the software that you are using to print from. And whether or not it has like a poster print, or you can take your design and like print out one side of it and then print the other. So you can print longer. You just cannot print wider. You're still going to have to tape it together. What's a good printer? Wait, what kind of printer is good? Is a good inkjet printer? Okay, so party favors. Oh yeah, slates that recommend. Wait. What recommendations on the temp and time and material? So I cannot speak on other papers, but what I can tell you, if you are using, honestly speaking, sublimation paper, it is 2 minutes. You print plain paper, bright white. We do not use premium matte, plain paper, bright white. It's going to print a lot faster, and it takes 2 minutes. Other papers, it will take 6 minutes, 8 minutes. 2 minutes. I have a video on. You don't believe me? I did it in real time. There's a video on my YouTube, and I tested different ones because with our paper, like my shirt, y'all can't really see it over here, but like everything else I do for sublimation, I press in 30 seconds. 30 seconds is what it takes to do sublimation with our paper. For everything except for slate, ceramic, glass, and acrylic. So with slate, it's 2 minutes with our paper. How can I do a two-sided Uno card? I'm not really discussing like how to do that. I mean, some people set up a template and they'll try and put it through their printer. Some people will put adhesive, like put sticker paper on both sides. That one I don't have like an exact answer for that because I don't make those. I think those are pointless. Some people, I know it's viral right now, but I think that is the most pointless thing ever. I would never, me personally, I'm not paying for no custom Uno cards when the game is the same and they cost $5 in the store. So I'm not the right person to ask about that because I just don't, I've never tried it, won't attempt to do it. So not the person to ask about that one. Sorry. All right, I'm going to talk about printers for party favors. Give me a second. Every single printer will print 47 inches long, even this Canon. If you have a Canon, if you have an HP, they all only advertise for 8.5 by 11 if it's a small format, which is why most people think they can't use 8.5 by 14 paper, but you can use 8.5 by 14. But every single last one of them allows you to print 47 inches long. So you can print longer prints, whether it is sublimation or if you're printing to banner paper. Now, are you going to find banner paper 8 inches wide, 8.5 inches wide? Absolutely not. You're going to have to cut it down. So you're going to have some power tools somewhere in order to do that, because no one is going to sell 8.5 inch wide banner paper. Unless they're listening to me now, and then now all of a sudden it comes up on the market, but there is currently not on the market. Even 13 inch is not, 13 inch, no, it's not on the market. I had to cut mine down. But you can print small format banners, or you can print long on every single print. If you have the 8550, you actually can print 86 inches long. Desk jet. So I think that's kind of like the office jet one. Yeah. I'm not sure why you asked Bella Canvas. I'm not sure what you are asking when it comes to that. You just put a question mark. So for party favors, I'm going to just do a quick recap. I can't tell you like what's going to be best, because my preference might be different from yours. But the whole purpose of this live video, we broke down, and you can want to watch the playback. You can always go back to my YouTube channel, Honestly Speaking, and the playback will be there for you to view this in its entirety. But we were basically discussing different printers and ink. When it comes to things like party favors, you're going to use one of two printers. Some people are teaching to use sublimation ink for party favors, and Lord knows I do not understand why, unless it's a last resort. Like, it's good to have those skills for a last resort, but that should not be your primary thing for party favors, because that's just the extra step, extra paper that just makes absolutely no sense. But anyway, that's not, if you like it, I love it. But for the most part, sublimation excluded, you have three different printers that you would use. I'm not showing laser or toner printers in this demonstration, this live, but you're going to have a laser printer, which is toner ink. You're going to have inkjet printers. Inkjet printers is dye-based ink and pigment ink. Okay, there are specific printers for each type of ink. Then it's paper. These are all sticker sheets. When it comes to actual paper, that's a totally different discussion. And I'll just show you real quick. Not all glossy paper is created equal. This is a glossy paper, and I'm not sure if you guys can see. That ain't black, okay? It's supposed to be a composition notebook. It's actually kind of like a purplish color. This was printed on glossy and matte, and it still comes out more like on a dye-based printer. It comes out more like a purplish color. But then I have some, y'all can see, you can see that like a plum color. I have, you can really see it on that side. This was the glossy side, and this was the photo matte side, like setting. But this, this is a whole other live in of itself that I will probably do. I'm not saying probably. I will do it in the Creative Lounge, but this is a whole other ball game, because my stack of paper for stuff like party favors probably sits about here. I got a lot of it. Matte and glossy. They're all different. I use them for different things. I am not a one size fits all type of person. I have certain papers for specific things. That's how serious I am about printing. Okay. So as far as like this one, this is sticker paper that I'm showing you. Dye-based printers, these are both pigment. That's pigment, pigment, pigment. Dye-based. There we go. These two are from my two pigment ink printers, okay? They are water resistant. If you missed see here at the top, I'm sorry to kind of jump around, but I really want to show this. Had I fully sprayed this, you wouldn't see the streaks. But here at the top where I sprayed, you can't even tell that there was water there. The only reason why you can tell down here is because it went down in streaks. Had I soaked the whole thing, you would not even know that this was wet. So you see up by the Paw Patrol, but see down here, you can see the streaks because that's just where the water flowed. But up here where it was saturated, you can't even tell. You can't tell that there was water there. Only here where there was a separation for the streaks. Okay? So, pigment ink, water resistant. But pigment ink, because it has toner powder, it's still pretty glossy and pretty shiny. But you can tell the difference between a dye-based ink and when you're looking at it, because if you look at the reflection of the ring light there, and because this has toner powder, it basically diffuses it. So here you can see the ring light. This is a dye-based printer. So if you want something to look super, 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 super shiny, then you want to use dye-based on glossy paper. On here, you see it looks diffused. It's not as bright. So there is a difference between the way they print out. And it just depends on what your personal preference is when it comes to these. If you are using matte, these are both. I can tell this is TC20 because of the color. This is dye-based. I don't see my pigment ink one. Oh, here it is. From the Epson printer. So these are all matte papers. Oh, no. The matte one is better with, well, you're going to have to watch the playback to see the matte because I've already ruined one, but there's a big difference in the matte papers. But these are all matte. This is my Epson 7720. Then they're perfect on colors. This is the dye-based printer. Although on the premium setting, for some reason, this is giving me some little bleed on this. I don't know why. This is the dye-based printer. So you can tell that the blacks are not the same. One is a true black. One looks a little ashy. And then this is also a pigment ink print, but I'm still working on the color settings for my TC20 because that came out way too dark. But the black here still looks black where this looks a little ashy. It looks like they need a little lotion. So there is like, it's a lot of factors. I know that's not what you guys want to hear. I know you guys like the coaches, the gurus, the whatever that's going to tell you use this exact paper, and because they've only ever used one. They've never done this test, used different paper. They don't care about it. They probably got their paper recommendation from someone. They didn't think before they started teaching to try out different papers. That's not I, okay? This is all real world experience. I've tried out all these papers. This is what I eat, sleep, breathe. This is why, contrary to what numbers may say, I am the best at teaching this. How do you know if your printer is dye-based versus pigment? Print something out and put water to it. If it runs, it is dye-based. If it does not run, if the color does not run, so I mean, you see color streaks, but the ink did not run on this, okay? None of the colors messed up. Dye-based inks, you see her face has the green and like where all that color is. Dye-based inks will run. That is how you can tell what type of printer you have. Dye-based will run, pigment will not. If this is something like this, getting this type of information so that you are really setting yourself up for success. We have classes for so many different things, but for like information like this, like the stuff that you don't find on YouTube videos, just having discussions. You know, if you are into party, we do have our Party Favor program. We have an academy. So our School of Celebration Affairs will be opening up soon because party favors and just party decor, everything from you're going to learn about balloons, tablescapes, all of that within that, because it's not just for paper party stuff or whatever. That is opening up soon. It is subscription based. You can get on our email list that you get information about that. Okay. These are all adhesive paper. They're not regular cardstock. All right. If you would like to get our template, which, oh, I meant to actually put this one on my nephew. So you'll see me apply this because this is going to be the last time that I do, which I meant to clear this off. Well, I probably have one more video because I need to do this. Shoot. This is I did the good print on the wrong paper, I think. Dang it. Yeah. No. It might still work. Okay. I was like, but I still think I did the good print on the wrong paper for these because they're not all created equal. Our template comes with 4 different sizes so that no matter what brand, what size your cover is, one of these 4 templates is guaranteed to work. The template by itself is $13.65, but there's also an option for a class that we did on yesterday. You get the playback for it. It's sent to you in email. The download for the template also has a PDF. You have to open that PDF, click on it. You're also going to get an email with that same, it looks almost like the PDF. You click on it and it will take you to the playback, okay? But this will be one of the last times that I do a cover. I'm looking for a ruler. Don't know where my ruler went because I got way too much stuff on my tabletop here. Oh, here it is. All right. And I would actually put the laminate because this is, but I don't have it cut down, so I have to put it on afterwards. This is dye-based ink, so this would normally get a laminate on top of it and then put onto this. But the other ones that I'm going to do for him, I'm actually going to print from my Epson printer. That way I don't have to worry about putting laminate, but I love the color on this matte paper. I like matte more so than, I like matte, satin, and semi-gloss. I'm not a big fan of glossy. Even when it comes to spray paint, I like satin spray paint. Those who are in my phone board program, y'all should be used to the pinky by now. Whenever I have a blade like this in my hand, I'm normally using the pinky. And I just love the way matte looks. To me, it just looks so much better. Now, when I have matte laminate, like my big roll. See, my laminate comes like this that I use because I have a Kohl laminator. So I have matte, luster, and glossy. I'm probably going to put the matte, not say probably, I am going to put the matte laminate over this so that it keeps the matte look because this is absolutely freaking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous as matte instead of glossy. I see the pinky. Um, I'm halfway through the 3 hour tutorial that came with the template, and it's a training, not just a tutorial, because it has everything from breaking down the templates. We went through Canva. At the end, we went through Photoshop. I broke down papers. And then we went through a couple different design things. We went through how to tell if a image is a high quality image versus a low quality image. It is a full training, and they stayed on afterwards. So you guys, like the one that's on the playback, is only a fraction of, like, we were on after that as well. All right, so I don't see any other questions. I thank you guys so very much. You can always visit our website, shop.hsink365.com, for our incredible sublimation paper and ink. Like I said, our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. We have a wide variety of classes, everything from memorials, party favors, making your own SVGs, pricing for profit, pricing therapy, essentials of Silhouette Studio, essentials of Photoshop, and the list just goes on and on and on. We have a lot of classes available depending on which educational track you are on. All right. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Oh, yes. That cold laminate is basically self-sealing laminate. It's not thermal. Peace.